And Nairobi Metropolitan Services has been allocated a colossal budget of 27.2 billion shillings that will cater for its recurrent expenditure and development. At the same time, in its county fiscal strategy for this financial year, Nairobi County Assembly has been factored in 21.1 billion shillings for the NMS that would give a total of 48.3 billion for the entity. So, is this a double allocation? Duncan reports.
In his ambitious and colossal 3.6 trillion budget presented before Parliament, National Treasury CS Ukuru Yatani allocated a whopping 27.2 billion shillings to the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. At the same time, according to Nairobi County's Budget Committee Chairman Robert Mbatia, in the county's fiscal strategy, another 21.1 billion has been allocated to NMS, giving an indication of double allocation of 48.3 billion.
But for the NMS, in as much as they say they would want 27 billion, it is not an allocation from the national government. That is what the Senate gave to Nairobi County. And then from Nairobi County, there's what is own source revenue. So you find Nairobi County has a budget of maybe 35 billion, thereabout. From that 35 billion, NMS is saying they would want 27. So it really is a wish list. It is not a double allocation.
Whereas Nairobi Senator Johnson Sakaja has dismissed claims of double allocation, Finance, Budget and Appropriation Committee Chairperson Robert Mbatia says, and I quote, "According to the deed of transfer, NMS was to be funded from both national and county governments. The funds are, however, utilized for different programs, but within the four transferred functions." End of quote.
Article 187 says, 187(2)(b), that the constitutional responsibility of any transferred function remains with the county government or the entity that has transferred it. Such that even today, when NMS gets money, they get money not from the treasury. They get money from the county, from the control of budget, from the Nairobi County Revenue Fund. And even the CC of Finance in Nairobi has still to sign for the money that goes to NMS, because it is an entity operating transferred functions from Nairobi County. So there's that misunderstanding. People think it's a double allocation. It really isn't a double allocation.
In the 27.2 billion allocated, 18 billion will cater for recurrent expenditure, while the remaining will go to development. But has the monies allocated to the NMS since taking over major functions of the limping Nairobi County been well utilized?
So we've been able to see a change. We've seen improvement in service delivery. To say categorically that it is value for money would be very presumptuous, because I need to look at the Auditor General's report that goes to specific to the four transferred functions, from planning to healthcare, because some people might say, okay, in the lower levels, they may not be able still to get medicine. We don't have the right number of personnel in our hospitals, but I can say that they've made some effort.
The Nairobi Metropolitan Services is expected to close shop 2 months before the 2022 general election, implying that it has exactly 12 months before exiting in June next year. Duncan Haemba, KTN News.
Thank you, Duncan, for that report. We're going to take a first short break, but when we come back,